What's going on, guys? Welcome to Test This Tech. And if you haven't heard by now, the Retroid Pocket 6, we're restarting the clocks back to the future style when it comes to the launch of the device after the commotion or the feedback from customers saying that they did not like how the D-pad was on top and the design of it, and some prefer the analog sticks on top. So after a poll of people that voted, and even though we don't know if even all of those people actually buy the device, they decided to give more options to the customer. And I will say, I will stand by it. That is a W, regardless of, they could have just, stood on business. I'm glad that they just said, hey, here's another option. That's why I say that they planned for this, which is the reason why they're kind of restarting a bit, and they had a feeling that this would happen. So with that being said, the relaunch for the Retro Pocket 6 when it comes to the pre-orders is going to be November 2nd, and it's going to be 9 p.m. Eastern time. On the West Coast for us, of course, that's going to be 6 p.m. And when you go to goretroid.com right now, you are going to see that it says sold out. But to be clear, it will say sold out until the 9 p.m. when it hits 9 p.m. Eastern time or 6 p.m. Pacific time. That is when it will be available for you to order. So just keep in mind. So if you go to it now, it still is sold out. It's going to say that until the pre-order window actually is available for that 6 p.m. for November 2nd. Okay. It even has a countdown as well on their website. So that'll help reduce any type of potential anxiety that you would have for the system. When it comes to the specific options, of course, for their launch page, you're going to see color and you're going to see model, and you're going to see the different models here as far as 8 GB D-pad on top, which is the Retro Pocket 5. Why even buy the Retro Pocket 6 if you decide to do that? Obviously, Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, but still, don't do that. And then there's 8 GB stick on top. Right. And then also there's going to be 12 GB D-pad on top and 12 GB stick on top. So if you were to ask me, Jarrell, which model would you choose out of them? Obviously, that is subjective to everyone. But for me, I would say just because it does have a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, I would be experimenting with not only Switch emulation, all that stuff, but also like WinLater Game Hub type stuff. You want to get the most RAM for that, because that is going to be a really huge factor. So I would personally recommend the 12 GB models, whether you want to do stick on top or D-pad on top. I like the offset controls, like the Odin's. So I personally would prefer the stick on top on the left side. But yeah, you'll have the option to choose before you do the checkout process, which is nice, right? Yeah, so good stuff. Good stuff. All the other specifications are the same. It's just, you have that additional framework adjustment. I still think it's great that they're able to pivot from this so quickly. It is funny though. I was checking out Joy Handheld's video talking about the segment for the Retro Pocket 6. Shout out to Joy. He really railed into Retroid, but I think it was very warranted. I agree with all of his points. I think these are valid points. I'm a little more forgiving, but I understand. I understand where he's coming from. He makes a lot of good points. The Retro Pocket G2, by the way, is available still, I believe, to pre-order. I don't know if it makes any sense to choose the G2 at this point, just because, I mean, $10 more, you're getting an incredibly more powerful processor, So the G2 Gen 2, like I was saying before, it is going to be more powerful than the 865, but the 8 Gen 2, I mean, you're seeing some serious performance with that. So for $10, I mean, fine $10, mow a lawn, throw some newspapers, whatever kids do nowadays to earn money, get the extra $10 and get the Retroid Pocket 6. I just really recommend that. If this was $100, even though I think they would be losing money at that point, but if this was $100 for the Retro Pocket G2, that's money. That's a serious deal. But do not get the G2, in my personal opinion, for the $10 difference to save $10. Like I've wasted $10 very quickly. You know, so it's like, yeah, I don't recommend, I don't recommend that. But anyway, that's all I have here. So let me know in the comments if at this point, after all the stuff and the relaunching of it and having the option, are you considering getting one? With that, test this tech. I'll catch you guys next video. Thanks a lot.